In this video, I'm gonna tell you about winters in Asheville, North Carolina, what they're like, what you can do, how to prepare for them, what clothes you need for yourself and for your kids, what you can do in terms of activities. All this I'm gonna cover in this video, so do not go anywhere. This is 𝕊𝕌𝔹𝕊ℂℍ𝕸 with Nesting Dolls Realty at Realty One Group Pivot here in Asheville, North Carolina. If this is your first time on my channel and you want to know everything about living, breathing, working, having a baby in Asheville, you need to hit that subscribe button and tap a little bell to get notified every time I make a new video. I love getting all these phone calls, messages, and emails from people who are thinking about relocating to Asheville. So if you need any kind of help, if you have a question, feel free to reach back to me by phone, email, or text. My information is right here. I got your back when relocating to Asheville, North Carolina. You probably already heard, and if you didn't, here it goes again. Asheville has a very mild climate, very mild seasons, and winter in particular. In fact, to me, a person coming from Siberia, it feels like fall slowly turns into springtime. It's not cold enough for me. Not snow enough, not cold enough. But that's, what attracts a lot of people to this area, because we still kind of sort of have all four seasons. It's cold enough in wintertime to make it feel like winter, and it snows sometimes. But it's not too cold where you freeze to death and you hate your life and it's too cold to go out and enjoy outdoors. So it's kind of perfect, you get the best of both worlds. Wintertime where you can still be outside and enjoy outdoors, but not too cold where you're miserable. Temperatures in wintertime stay around mid-20s, upper 20s, up to 50s during the day. Of course, it can get colder and it can go up higher, but on average it's between upper 20s to 50s. And I know it's still a wide range, and I'm talking about difference between nighttime and daytime. And as soon as I mentioned our average temperatures, we got a 64-degree weather on January 26th. I mean, it's kind of crazy but nice to have some sunshine and super warm weather. So tip number one, bring layers. Do not bring your puffy jackets, super warm clothes here, because first of all, during the day it's gonna get warmer and you're gonna wanna, take all your layers off. And if you just have one jacket, you're stuck with it. Number two is that if you have a very puffy, very warm jacket and you go for a walk and it feels like it's cold, by the time you're gonna go up and down all those hills, because remember, we don't have a lot of flat. You have to go up and down on the hike, even in the neighborhood. You're going to be sweating in your puffy jacket, and you want to be able to, start taking your layers off or unzipping, unbuttoning, and breathing a little bit. So that was tip number one. Tip number two, I highly recommend having a waterproof or moisture-proof jacket for you and your kids, because even in wintertime we still have a fair amount of rain. You don't want to get wet and be cold. Same goes for your kids, especially for your kids. So I recommend waterproof and windproof jacket, but not too bulky, something lightweight that you can layer with something else, maybe sweaters or some other jackets. And shoes, especially for kids. I mean, you know how they like to get into puddles, like to get into mud, and with all the rain that we get, even in wintertime, they get wet a lot. Also, you probably want to still have a pair of winter boots for your kids. And I know it doesn't snow nearly enough to justify this purchase, because sometimes they wear it like once or twice a year and then they grow out of the boots. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to enjoy a little snow that we get. And snow boots, I mean, they're not that expensive, maybe 20 bucks, Sam's Club. I wouldn't invest into something too expensive, because again, they're probably gonna wear it like once, twice, 3 times a year, unless you go somewhere you know, and play in the snow, and do tubing somewhere. But if you're staying in the city, if you're staying in the area, yeah, it sucks, but you still want to get some cheap version of waterproof winter boots for your kids and for yourself. Another thing is snow pants or snowboarding pants, snow pants that are also waterproof. Again, the kids and you probably wouldn't be able to go out and enjoy a little snow that we have without them, because snow tends to get wet, damp, melts quickly. It's not, you know, it's not cold enough to keep it nice and frothy, and it melts quickly because the outside is still very, very warm. Even though we don't have a lot of snow lately, we used to have a lot more snow a few years ago, but for the past 3 or 4 years, maybe 2-3 snows and just a few inches that melt really quickly, don't stay long enough. We still have time when it can be dangerous to drive. It can be just a dusting or rain, and it freezes overnight and it creates black ice on the roads, or in high elevation where it does snow a little bit, or you know, some accumulation occurs, it freezes and it's very dangerous to drive, because again, we don't have a lot of flat land where you're nice and easy driving, but you go up and down these hills like that everywhere in the mountains, so it can be dangerous. One best way, I guess, to prepare for that is to have winter tires for your car. And by winter tires, I do not mean those metal studded tires. I think those are actually illegal here. You can't even buy them. One other option, and probably the best option, is chains, but that's for really extreme conditions and you have a lot of snow. It's good to have them just in case. You're probably not going to use them a lot at all, but it's a good idea to have them just in case. Some people ask me about snow blower. I'd say just don't spend money. Don't waste your money on snow blower. Again, because we don't have enough snow to justify this purchase. You're not going to get any mileage out of it. It's going to melt in 24 hours anyways, and it's not going to be a lot. I recommend investing in good shovel from Home Depot or Lowe's, maybe some sand or salt that they also sell at hardware stores, and that's about it. I mean, if they're calling for black ice, for freezing, for bad conditions, winter weather, just stay home. And if you have to go somewhere, go slow, because people tend to go fast, hit those brakes, and go into the ditch. It happens every time. If you are a parent of school-aged children, listen up. So under normal circumstances, when we're not in the pandemic and all the kids are on Zoom classes, when everyone actually goes back to normal, to in-person school, we have school canceled a lot. Oh, I feel like a lot. Used to be a lot more, now a little less, because again, we don't have as much snow, but every time, or pretty much every time they call for snow, a little snow, some snow, any snow, they cancel the school. And a lot of people get so frustrated with that, and I get it. I mean, that would be a pain, because you would have to, sometimes they cancel school right away, sometimes they cancel school 2 hours into school, so parents have to drop everything and go pick up their kids, or meet the kids at the school bus somewhere at the house. And the reason is, again, because a lot of people live in the valley, they don't see any snow, and they're like, why did they cancel the school? They look out the window and be like, there's nothing out there. But people who live up on top of the mountain and all those small roads, they can get icy, they can get snowy, and it happened before when the school bus overturned. So they just want to be extra cautious and cancel school a lot. So be prepared for that. I know it's a pain, but I feel like after this year, when everyone is on Zoom classes and people have to learn to adjust and adapt, this is probably not going to be as big of an issue, but just kind of wanted to mention that this is something that's maybe different from in the area where you're coming from. Sometime right after probably mid-November, all the leaves are gone from the trees, so all the mountains kind of look blah. They don't have any leaves unless it's some evergreens there, but everything is kind of bare. Everything kind of looks gray in the mountains. It really is a beautiful scene when it snows. Tops of the mountains look white, nice and pretty, but this mild weather allows us to spend time outdoors even in wintertime. We take our son to biking, we go hiking, go on trails, go for walks to Arboretum, to Biltmore. They have a lot of trails there, so that's very nice. I mean, you don't have to freeze. We can still even go on picnics sometimes on good days, on nice days. But the only thing that you probably wouldn't be able to do during wintertime is swimming, unless you're a little extreme. So swimming falls off the list, but snow activities add to the list in wintertime. And by those, I mean ski resorts that we have around Asheville. One of our favorite is 𝕍𝔼ℍ, located in Maggie Valley, west of Asheville. And it's about 50 minutes, I think, 50 or 40 minutes from Asheville. Wolf Laurel Resort is north of Asheville, another great ski resort. Of course, they have man-made snow there, but elevation is a lot higher in those areas. And when they're calling for snow here, you know, in the valley, in Asheville, in downtown, places like that, when we have maybe dusting, those places get real snow. So it's extra nice to go up there and snowboard or ski. Just a couple of weeks ago, I decided to go snowboarding, me, my husband, and my son. And as we're driving in Maggie Valley, in the valley, it started drizzling and it started raining. And we were like, oh my God, it's, you know, we're not going to be able to snowboard. But as we go up, start going up the mountain to the ski resort, the elevation changed, first of all, and the temperature dropped about 10 degrees. And that rain turned into snow up there. So that was a real nice surprise, and you know, it was just beautiful up there. Same goes with anybody who live at the top of the mountain, within Asheville city limits or within Buncombe County limits. When it's dusting or when there's even nothing on the bottom in the valley, people up at the top will have some snow. So if you are looking for a property with a view, you're probably going to have, first of all, climb up and the driveway will be like this. And second of all, you're going to have more snow than what we get in the valley. Winters in our area are so mild that if you're into gardening, you can grow produce all year round. I mean, of course, you're not going to be able to grow potatoes and cucumbers and tomatoes all year round, but some hardy plants like lettuces, kale, broccoli, you can actually grow all year round. So that's a nice perk, and that's, you know, a nice benefit of living in the mild climate. I'm sure I probably missed something that you might have a question about. So feel free to reach back to me by phone, email, or text. My contact information is right here. If you want to know more about what it's like to live in Asheville, check out some more videos right here. Leave a comment with your question, and I will see you next time.